Caitlin Clark is nearing a lucrative 8-figure endorsement deal with Nike.
And both of these teams very willing and capable of pushing in transition and scoring quickly.
Here's Clark working around Fletcher. Caitlin Clark has Iowa on the board first.
The most prolific scorer in NCAA Division I history and the #1 pick in the WNBA draft signed by Indiana Fever early this year.
The Indiana Fever are busting down the door of the second half of the season. They be one of the best teams in the league tonight.
Caitlin Clark has once again found herself back in Nike's radar. Although Nike has been in the picture for the longest, Caitlin has decided to continue her contract with them by signing a life-changing deal running across an 8-figure price and her very own signature shoe, courtesy of Nike.
So the news is out, which really comes as no surprise to anyone. Caitlin Clark will be getting an 8-figure contract, a signature shoe with Nike. I think this was all expected.
But how did such an opportunity find Caitlin? Join us as we dive deeper into Caitlin Clark's $50,000 Nike deal that has left the world in shock. What a deal! In the fall of 2022, Caitlin Clark signed an endorsement deal with the popular sports brand Nike as one of the brand's first NIL, name, image, and likeness, basketball players in preparation for the junior basketball season. During the time the contract came into effect, Caitlin was attending college at Iowa University, where she was a part of the basketball team, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Well, Caitlin Clark is going to be a Hawkeye. I can't stress how big that is for Lisa Bluder and the Hawkeyes. Clark is a game and program changer. She thrives on competition and is as dynamic a player as we've seen. The decision, though, to go to Iowa took some time. It was narrowed down to Notre Dame and the Hawkeyes.
In her junior year, she became the National Player of the Year, leading the Hawkeyes to their first national championship game. Signing the deal with Nike gave Caitlin the opportunity to be able to sell off official Iowa Hawkeyes jerseys with her name on them, something that wasn't allowed before the implementation of NIL deals. Nike also began selling T-shirts and sweatshirts bearing her name and number.
Caitlin Clark immediately became one of the most attractive potential business partners in Iowa. Clark's star is rising, and today she announces a big-time partnership. Clark signed her first NIL deal today with Hy-Vee,
as she kept working with the brand while she built up her basketball career. But things didn't stop there. According to Caitlin, watching Nike athletes as a kid had inspired her to work hard to make a difference in the world of sports. And she felt completely honored to be listed among the first basketball class put together by the brand. Being a part of the class, along with having the opportunity to inspire the next class, gave Caitlin a reason to push herself to perform at her best whenever she stepped into the basketball court. Since Iowa was a Nike-sponsored school, Caitlin regularly wore shoes from Kobe Bryant's sneakers line, and she was known to autograph and give out shoes she had worn during her games to excited fans as she left the court after the end of her games.
Well, Caitlin Clark is all about the kids, and after Tuesday's win over Wisconsin, well, one lucky fan from Dubuque came back with a lifelong memory.
Hawkeye headquarters reporter Blake Hornstein has more from Dubuque.
Caitlin's 4 years at Iowa were spent rewriting college basketball's history book as she ended her career scoring 3,951 points, the most in men's and women's college basketball after passing Pistol Pete Maravich. She ended the 2023-24 season with 1,234 points, the most scored in a women's singles season, and the first commercial shown after she broke Maravich's record M was a Nike ad congratulating her. The end of the 2023-24 season was accompanied by not only Caitlin's exit from college basketball, it also marked an end to the contract she had signed with the sports brand, Nike. Although Nike's contract with Caitlin was the most prominent one when she joined them in 2022, she also had deals with State Farm, Gatorade, and other sportswear brands.
I need a break.
Time for a Big Ten game break. I'm Jenny Taft here with Hawkeye Caitlin Clark.
Excuse me, I just need a little help. Life's moving really fast. New job, new car, new apartment.
Oh, you don't need us. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That showed interest in the basketball player at the time. With the season at an end, Caitlin's agent started to work on a new contract with Nike even before she announced she would turn pro. She did this in place of making a return to Iowa for a 5th season under the COVID-19 exemption offered to players in college during the 2020 pandemic season. Finally, on April 15, 2024, Caitlin was drafted number 1 by the Indiana Fever.
A huge headline tonight in women's basketball. Record-breaking Iowa Hawkeyes star Caitlin Clark has announced she's entering the WNBA draft this year, and it's big news here in Indianapolis.
Signing a 4-year contract, earning a salary of about $76,000 as a rookie on the basketball team, with promise to gain an increase in price with each year's climb. This movement was carried out after she had scored over 31 points and led Hawkeyes to a 2nd straight national championship game. Clark received offers of $16 million over 4 years from Under Armour and $6 million over 4 years from Adidas, with both including a signature shoe, according to the WSJ, but her loyalty remained intact regarding Nike.
According to the WSJ, Puma also showed some interest in landing an endorsement deal with Caitlin, but walked away when told the bidding would start at $3 million per year. In no time, Nike stretched out an enticing offer to Caitlin, hoping to draft another contract with the athlete, one that would last a longer time than the previous one. The new endorsement deal would be the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player, and Nike seemed more than eager to pitch the idea to Caitlin with hopes that she would accept it. A meeting was arranged between Caitlin's agents and Nike, with not much information given out to the public on its contents, but the interaction resulted in an acceptance of Nike's endorsement deal by Caitlin Clark's agency. The deal is said to revolve around an 8-figure range, with an opportunity to get her own signature shoe line.
Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark is said to be on the verge of signing a massive endorsement deal with Nike.
Just like Kobe Bryant's that she wore during her Iowa days. As if all that wasn't enticing enough, Nike is said to have offered a long-term 8-year contract to Caitlin, which goes to show the sportswear giant's commitment to the athlete. With such a deal in the bag, Caitlin's career seems to be already set at such a young age. But how did it all start? How did Caitlin Clark climb up the ladder of success at such a young age? Let's find out. Caitlin Clark, the young icon. More times than we can count, talented people have discovered their potential at a young age and pursued it with all they've got, rising to stardom way before they get to the peak of their years. Caitlin Clark, whose interest in sports peaked at a young age, is a very good example of this category of people. She began playing basketball at age 5 and competed in boys' recreational leagues because her father could not find a girls' league for her age group, which was common in Des Moines, Iowa, the city she grew up in. As she got older, Caitlin engaged in other sports such as softball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, and golf, before finally shifting her full focus to the one she loved most: basketball. When she was 13, Caitlin was able to find a girls' league to join, but she had to begin playing for a league which was several years ahead of her age group due to a similar situation to the one she had in her early years. However, Caitlin continued running with her dream of becoming a pro basketball player, and when she got to high school, things started to look up. Caitlin enrolled at Dowling Catholic High School in West Des Moines, Iowa.
Welcome back. By now, if you're paying attention to girls' high school basketball in Iowa, you know the name Caitlin Clark. Dowling Catholic star guard, the nation's #4 prospect in the 2020 class, and played for Team USA under-17 team last summer. That Caitlin Clark.
But didn't kickstart her basketball career until her second year in high school. She first joined the school's varsity soccer team as a starter, but anyone could tell her eyes were set on a different sport entirely. Finally, after a few games with the team, Caitlin shifted gears towards her true love, basketball, playing under the guidance of the head coach, Kristen Myers. In her freshman year, she averaged 15.3 points, 4.7 assists, and 2.3 steals, earning herself some level of popularity in the world of basketball. Caitlin also went ahead to acquire Class 5, a All-State third-team accolades from the Iowa Newspaper Association and All-Iowa Honorable Mention from the Des Moines Register. In her sophomore year, her averages ballooned to 27.1 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 4 assists, and 2.3 steals per game, ranking second in the state in scoring. Due to her amazing performance, Caitlin was named First-Team Class 5, A All-State, by the Iowa Print Sports Writers Association, IPSBWA, and Central Iowa Metro League Player of the Year by the Des Moines Register. During her junior year of high school in 2019, Caitlin averaged 32.6 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 3.6 assists on her way to being named the Gatorade Player of the Year, beating the record Abby Rowe had set way back in 1996. This victory didn't cause Caitlin to ease up and relent in the pursuit of her dreams. Rather, she pushed harder and joined All Iowa Attack, an amateur athletic union AAU basketball program based in Ames, Iowa, and kept playing for teams in the program as she continued high school. In her senior year, Caitlin rounded up her career with an average of 33.4 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists to go with another Gatorade Player of the Year selection, Des Moines Register All-Iowa Athlete of the Year, all while making the IPSWA Class 5A All-State First Team. She left Dowling Catholic, named Iowa Miss Basketball.
Caitlin Clark is many words to people: superstar, icon, maverick, difference maker. There's always a record, title, or award that she's won, a feat that no one else in a Hawkeye uniform has ever done, and always something extraordinary.
And she was selected to participate in the McDonald's All-American Game and the Des Moines Register All-Iowa Athlete of the Year. However, the selections didn't pull through, and both games were cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. But did the pandemic stop Caitlin from rising higher in the world of basketball? At the end of Caitlin's high school career, she was considered a 5-star recruit and the 4th best player in her class by ESPN, who had initially ranked the athlete as the #1 player in the 2020 high school class. Such a big feat for someone so young. When college came knocking, Caitlin made the decision to stay on and play college basketball for Iowa, forgoing other opportunities. As she got to Iowa University, Caitlin joined the school's basketball team, the Hawkeyes, and kicked off her freshman season as Iowa starting point guard. But things didn't stay that way for long. On November 25, 2020, Caitlin made her collegiate debut, recording 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists in a 96-81 win over Northern Iowa. From that win, Caitlin jumped high up on the success ladder as a part of the team, going on to score over 90 points in the season and assisting her team to victories upon victories over opposing sides. At the end of the regular season, Clark was a unanimous Big Ten Freshman of the Year and first-team All-Big Ten selection, setting a conference record, and led the Big Ten with 5 Player of the Week awards. On the 9th of November, 2021, Caitlin made her sophomore season debut, recording 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in a 93-50 win over New Hampshire. By the team's second game in the season, Caitlin went ahead to break the Carver Hawkeye Arena women's single-game scoring record and surpassed Kelsey Mitchell of Ohio State as the fastest Big Ten player to reach 1,000 career points. Scoring victories upon victories, Caitlin kept beating different records, scoring surprising amounts of points, and showing everyone in the season the potential she possessed. By the time she was done with her sophomore year and basketball season, she had averaged over 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, Caitlin was identified and honored as the first women's player to lead Division I in points and assists per game in a single season. She also led Division I in total points, free throws, and triple doubles, placing total awe in the minds and faces of anyone who came in contact with her on the basketball court. With all these, Caitlin Clark appeared to be at the top of her game, but did things eventually change, or was she able to maintain her winning streak?
I honestly thought we were done. I really did. I thought we were done with all the postseason's awards for Caitlin Clark. I was wrong. She's bringing home another one.
Keep watching, because this next part is sure to blow your mind. Rising to stardom. Moving from sophomore season to junior season, Caitlin kept acquiring amazing points for herself and her team as she led the team to multiple victories, but not without gaining recognition and awards. These awards include the AP Player of the Year.
Caitlin Clark wins AP Player of the Year again. Somehow it wasn't unanimous. Clark got 34 of 35 votes.
The Honda Sports Award, the John R. Wooden Award, Naismith College Player of the Year, USBWA National Player of the Year, and the Wade Trophy Basketball Player, amongst others. By the time she moved to her senior season, Caitlin had averaged over 31.6 points, 8.9 assists, and 7.4 rebounds per game, leading Division I in scoring and assists. She went on to finish with the highest career scoring average, 28.42, in Division I history, passing Patricia Hoskins of Mississippi Valley State. Rounding up her senior season, Caitlin left Iowa with the most career points and three-pointers, the second most triple-doubles, and the third most assists in Division I history.
Huge game, guys, for Caitlin Clark, sinking her 86th three-pointer of the season, breaking the WNBA record for the most three-pointers by a rookie in a single season. Congratulations to Caitlin.
It was later announced at the end of the season that Iowa would retire Caitlin's jersey, number 22, making her the third player in program history to receive the honor. Caitlin also broke the all-time NCAA scoring record with a total of 3,685 points in her collegiate career, surpassing Louisiana State University's pistol Pete Maravich, who scored 3,667 points in his 1967 to 1970 NCAA career. What a journey for this superstar. But did her journey end after college? On the 15th of April, 2024, at the Brooklyn Academy of Music in Brooklyn, New York, the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA's draft for the 2024 season, following the 2023-24 NCAA Division I women's basketball season, was held. Interestingly, there were a lot of fans actively present for the first time since the WNBA draft happened in 2016. Much to everyone's delight, Caitlin Clark was selected as the first overall pick of the 2024 WNBA draft by Indiana Fever, an American professional basketball team based in Indianapolis, playing the Eastern Conference in the WNBA. After the draft, Caitlin proceeded to sign her rookie-scale contract with the team, which opened up more doors of opportunities to the young athlete.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
By the time of her 8th game with the team, Caitlin had already shown the team what she was made of by scoring over 30 points in a rematch with the Sparks and surpassing over 100 points and 50 assists in all 8 games. This feat earned the athlete the Rookie of the Month title in May, but that was just the beginning of a long line of achievements with Indiana Fever. With each passing month in the team, Caitlin made sure to live up to the standard she had set for herself, gaining more points in every game and earning the Rookie of the Month title for 3 consecutive months, coupled with other achievements she acquired within that period of time. In the course of her basketball career, Caitlin Clark has not only risen to stardom at such a young age, she has also been able to redefine women's sports on the collegiate level, and now she has continued to do so at the professional level. Caitlin's popularity and record-breaking performances in the basketball world have landed her prestigious sponsorships and endorsements, including the 8-figure deal she has signed with Nike, along with an opportunity to have her own signature shoe line. It is safe to say that Caitlin has lived up to the expectations of everyone who has supported and continues to support the athlete as she makes her way up the ladder of success in the world of sports. With so many achievements and popularity at such a young age, do you think Caitlin Clark will be able to maintain her status as an amazing basketball player? Or will things fall apart with time? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it. In a fiery turn of events, Angel Reese couldn't contain her emotions after Caitlin Clark pulled off yet another jaw-dropping performance that left the basketball world buzzing. Known for her outspoken personality, Reese found herself in the spotlight once again, this time for throwing a heated fit after witnessing Clark's latest display of dominance. While Clark continues to rack up praise from experts and fans alike, the tension between the two stars seems to be boiling over. Reese's reaction has ignited fresh debate about their ongoing rivalry and the pressure that comes with being at the top of the women's game.
Caitlin Clark is a hell of a player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls, South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. Y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, two of the most electric talents in women's basketball, find themselves at the heart of a growing debate. Not just for their on-court performances, but for the way they are perceived and supported by fans, experts, and the media.
After the season, and when I was in my press conference and I was talking about being sexualized, like, I guess people thought that was like, because I post pictures in my bathing suits. No, like, multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me, like, naked.
While both players possess undeniable skill and competitive drive, the level of support they receive is starkly different, leading to questions about fairness, bias, and the larger dynamics at play in sports. Caitlin Clark, widely celebrated for her phenomenal shooting range and court vision, has captured the hearts of basketball fans across the country.
Caitlin Clark is a hell of a player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls, South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. Y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
Whether it's her ability to pull up from anywhere on the floor or her leadership in crucial moments, Clark has cemented her status as one of the top players in the sport. Experts rave about her performances, often calling her the future of women's basketball. Her highlight reels go viral, and she is frequently described as a once-in-a-generation talent.
What's going through my mind is I need to make these 2 free throws. That's all I'm thinking about. It's just a part of basketball. It is what it is. You know, trying to make a play on the ball and get the block. But yeah, I mean, it happens. And those free throws, when you have to shoot them with nobody at the line, are kind of hard. So it's a little different than having people at the line. So I was just trying to focus on making those.
Her success story is shared with admiration, and she has developed a legion of supporters who cheer for her every move, seeing her as a symbol of hard work, skill, and composure.
Angel Reese isn't just breaking rookie records. They're breaking W records. We shouldn't hate on somebody who's actually doing her job.
This outpouring of support for Clark seems to come effortlessly. Social media is filled with praise for her. Fans flock to games to witness her brilliance, and the media amplifies her every accomplishment. Awards and recognition follow her at every turn, and her name is consistently mentioned among the greats of the game, despite still being early in her career.
This is a girl that came in and garnered more attention than others in the game. That's what happened. It's that simple. Serena told Caitlin Clark, I freaking love this, that there's no race involved. And Serena is black, okay? So here's what Serena Williams said to Caitlin Clark. No matter what other people do, if people are negative, then it's because they can't do what you do.
Bingo.
Good for you to say something like that, right?
Clark's rise to prominence has been met with enthusiasm, and her clean-cut image fits perfectly into the narrative many fans and analysts embrace. An athlete who is both a fierce competitor and an approachable, humble figure. This narrative has helped build a wave of support that seems to grow stronger with each passing game. Angel Reese, on the other hand, while equally talented, has not experienced the same level of support or adoration. Reese, who led LSU to a national championship and earned herself the nickname Bayou Barbie, is a force to be reckoned with on the court.
Splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane. That should be celebrated, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up.
Her rebounding skills, physicality, and emotional style of play have made her one of the most recognizable figures in women's basketball. Yet, despite her undeniable contributions to the game, she often finds herself under a cloud of scrutiny rather than basking in the praise she deserves. Reese's outspoken nature and unapologetic confidence have made her a polarizing figure. When she shows emotion on the court, particularly when taunting or celebrating, she is met with criticism, something that her supporters argue would not happen if it were Clark or another player in the same position.
Against Caitlin Clark, okay? They have this big game going on. Neither one of them are the best teams in the league, but she gets fouled, Caitlin Clark does, and this is how Angel Reese, who she became a champion, by the way, in college. I think she won the championship. Caitlin Clark in the championship.
Exactly, 2 years ago.
However, for whatever reason, the audience likes watching Caitlin more because she's more exciting than Angel. But watch what she says after the way she fouls Caitlin Clark. Go ahead and play this clip.
For inside, I think we were playing really hard. I think we went up really strong a lot of times and we didn't get a lot of calls. And going back and looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special whistle.
While Clark's intensity is seen as passion, Reese's similar displays of emotion are often framed as unsportsmanlike or over the top. This double standard has become a major point of discussion, with many pointing out how Reese is held to a different standard than her peers, particularly when compared to Clark.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
We don't get to say, well, Joe Rogan is #1 and we are important too, because that's not how podcast and competition works. You know who tells you you're good? The flipping market tells you're good.
Fans of Reese often voice their frustrations, arguing that her achievements are downplayed while Clark's are elevated. Even after leading her team to a national championship, Reese still finds herself overshadowed in media coverage by Clark's individual performances. The imbalance in how these two players are supported is glaring.
Angel Reese comes out and says, she ain't the only one everybody's watching. They're watching me too. They're watching others. A day later, she gets ejected.
Clark is frequently positioned as the star of the show, while Reese is often painted as the disruptor, the player who doesn't fit neatly into the narratives that make for easy media coverage. For Reese, the lack of universal support can feel like a slight.
And the last clip from Angel Reese, they're watching me too. They're watching me too. It's like she's begging us to believe in her validation. And so people need to see, I think history is repeating itself, and Caitlin Clark could be raising the tide and lifting all boats. And I think Angel Reese needs to take a pill.
Especially when her accomplishments are equal to or even greater than those of her peers. The way the media and fans perceive Reese versus Clark speaks to deeper issues within sports and society.
She puts herself out there, even on this podcast. Stomach out, breast barely hidden, legs front and center everywhere. She has sexualized herself. And now, oh, I'm shocked. People are sexualizing me. And somehow she's connecting it to being a Caitlin Clark fan. I just don't see the connection. It's like everything bad that happens to me is somehow connected to Caitlin Clark. That's stupid, it's dishonest. She's just clout chasing. She's using Caitlin Clark. And then she goes, I don't think Caitlin Clark has hatred towards me. What has Caitlin Clark done to you? Nothing.
Many see the different treatment of these two players as rooted in race and gender expectations. Reese, a black woman, is often portrayed as too aggressive or too outspoken, whereas Clark, a white woman, is celebrated for her fiery competitiveness.
What does that have to do with Caitlin Clark?
Angel Reese designed herself as Barbie or whatever she did and took her clothes off for Instagram and posed and all this stuff. What happened? She claimed to be sexualized. What is that? Drama. Total drama.
The stark contrast in how they are both supported and criticized has sparked conversations about how athletes, particularly women of color, are treated in the public eye. Tensions are running high in the basketball world as Angel Reese, a powerhouse on the court, finds herself spiraling after an unexpected rejection from none other than Shaquille O'Neal. Known for her fierce determination, Reese's reaction was explosive, leaving fans and analysts stunned. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, the rising star who's been capturing headlines, has just made a game-changing move that could redefine the future of the WNBA. As these two stories collide, the stakes have never been higher, and the impact on the sport could be monumental. What exactly happened to trigger this intense drama? Stay tuned as we unravel the explosive events that have everyone talking.
When they played LSU, but she's phenomenal. I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
Ever? Well, I don't know about you. You ever heard of Cheryl Miller,
ever.
Maya Moore?
I said what I said. Ever.
Diana Taurasi?
I said what I said.
No disrespect.
Listen,
Caitlin Clark is amazing.
This is my opinion.
Candace Parker? Nobody's ever shot it like her. No, she's like Steph Curry.
What I said.
Yeah, you're right.
Listen, I ain't disrespecting nobody. It's just my opinion, and I ain't going to change it. How about that?
The world of women's basketball has been nothing short of electrifying in recent years, with new talents emerging and the competition reaching unprecedented heights. At the center of this storm are two of the most talked-about players, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Their rivalry, both real and perceived, has captivated fans and sparked endless debates. But behind the scenes, there's more to the story than just what happens on the court. Angel Reese, known for her fiery persona and unstoppable drive, has had her share of highs and lows, including a recent clash with NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has been making waves with her game-changing performances, leaving an indelible mark on the sport. What Shaq thinks about Reese and the ongoing debate that has everyone choosing sides. Angel Reese has always been a player who wears her emotions on her sleeve. Her intensity is one of the things that makes her such a compelling figure on the court.
Well, it was definitely what happened last year between Caitlin Clark and, Angel Reese. It was, talked about and would have liked to seen that rematch in time. But Caitlin Clark is a special player. She reminds me of a Steph Curry. A lot of times she takes those ill-advised shots that me and Chuck don't like, but they go in. Not only do they go in consistently. And the way she plays the game, she's the true definition of a great player, one that makes the players around her better. Not only was she making a great shot, she was making great passes, and she took her loss with humility. Shout out to the Iowa program. Shout out to all the female programs. Juju Watkins is a great player.
Yes.
Again, kudos to the women, for, performing at a very, very super high level. And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for women's college basketball.
Me too.
It was very exciting.
From the moment she steps onto the hardwood, you can see the fire in her eyes, the determination to prove herself, and the desire to win at all costs. Reese's passion has earned her a legion of fans, but it's also made her a polarizing figure. Some see her as the embodiment of what it means to be a competitor, while others think she's too emotional, too volatile. But for Reese, it's all part of the game. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, Reese has always had a mix of respect and rivalry. Clark, with her impressive shooting ability and court vision, is a different type of player than Reese. Where Reese is all about power and aggression, Clark is more about finesse and precision. Reese knows that Clark is a formidable opponent, and she's never been one to shy away from acknowledging her talent. However, there's also a part of Reese that feels overshadowed by the praise Clark receives. In Reese's mind, there's an ongoing battle, not just on the court, but in the court of public opinion. Clark's rise has been meteoric. Her performances have been nothing short of spectacular, and she's quickly become one of the most talked about players in the game.
Caitlin Clark is a hell of a player for sure. But I don't take disrespect lightly. And she disrespected Alexis and my girls. South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. Y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
Fans love her for her calm demeanor, her ability to stay cool under pressure, and her knack for delivering in clutch moments. But for Reese, Clark's success is a double-edged sword. On one hand, she recognizes that Clark's talent is undeniable, and she respects her for what she's accomplished. On the other hand, Reese can't help but feel that the constant comparisons between them are unfair. Reese has often found herself frustrated by the way the media and fans pit her against Clark. While she understands that comparisons are inevitable in sports, she feels that the narrative often overlooks the unique strengths she brings to the table. Reese is a dominant force in her own right, with a style of play that's unmatched by anyone else. Yet, she often feels that her contributions are undervalued in favor of Clark's more traditional, textbook approach to the game. This frustration came to a head recently when Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most influential figures in basketball, made comments that seemed to downplay Reese's impact. Shaq, who has always been known for his blunt opinions, praised Clark for her game-changing abilities, suggesting that she was the future of women's basketball.
Critique these guys, these youngsters and these females, they don't understand that all the stuff that they're getting ready to go through, we are the masters of that. So I was just, telling her how to handle adversity, how to handle, controversy. And, with a person like her, you don't really want to come and say, do this and do that. I was just coming and, giving her encouraging words, just telling her, to hang in there. Because when you're the best player and you play for a great coach like Kim Mulkey, they stay on you.
While he didn't outright dismiss Reese, his words carried a weight that was hard for her to ignore. For Reese, it felt like a rejection, not just of her skills, but of everything she's fought for throughout her career. Shaq's opinion matters. He's a four-time NBA champion, a Hall of Famer, and a respected voice in the sport. When he speaks, people listen. So when he appeared to side with Clark in the ongoing debate, it sent a clear message that didn't sit well with Reese. She's always seen herself as a player who breaks the mold, who brings something different to the game. To have that seemingly overlooked by someone as influential as Shaq was a blow. Reese's reaction was swift and intense. In true Angel Reese fashion, she didn't hold back. She expressed her disappointment, not just in Shaq's comments, but in what she sees as a broader pattern of being underestimated and undervalued. For Reese, this isn't just about one comment from Shaq. It's about a lifetime of having to prove herself over and over again. It's about fighting against the stereotypes and the expectations that have been placed on her, and the feeling that no matter what she does, it's never enough. The debate between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has now taken on a life of its own, fueled by comments from players, analysts, and fans alike. On one side are those who believe that Clark represents the future of the sport, a player who combines skill, intelligence, and poise in a way that few others can. As the stories of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark continue to unfold, it's clear that we're witnessing two athletes who are both changing the game in their own unique ways. While the debates and comparisons may persist, what's undeniable is the impact each of them is having on women's basketball. Angel Reese's fiery spirit and Caitlin Clark's calculated precision represent two different yet equally compelling approaches to the sport. Both are pushing the boundaries, challenging expectations, and inspiring countless fans and future players alike.